Hello YouTube, I'm at an observatory again. I'm actually going to be observing with a telescope that's over there, not one of the ones behind me, but they look cool, so I thought I'd make that my background. I get to enjoy a lovely week here. It's off to an interesting start. We got here last night and heard that basically everything that could go wrong in our telescope did go wrong. So, I'm waiting to meet up with my advisor and one of the maintenance guys. We're gonna see how we can maybe fix it, or at least get around it as best we can. So, you know, it'll be interesting. And I only got like less than 6 hours of sleep last night, which is, to be fair, not that bad for me. But I will then be staying up about a full 24 hours before I get to sleep again. So, I'll be a bit exhausted in the morning. We'll see how that goes. I'll check in with you later and let you know how the night goes. Alright, I promised I'd check back in. So it looks like we're still good for observing tonight. Not everything's going to be perfect per se. We're kind of just letting the outside air cool our instruments, which I'm a little nervous about, but there's temperature readings on them and they're technically fine. The thing in the window kind of scatters the light, really affects brighter objects and nearby stars more than it would affect the distant objects that we're studying. So we should be good, but it looks really cool. It's a bit more complicated than the instrument at CTIO, but some of the interface things are a little bit more, well, like an interface rather than, okay, type this, then type this, then type this. But it'll be interesting, depending on the exposure time. We'll see how much other work gets done, but it looks like we already know that Wednesday night they're going to swap up instruments, so we're not going to observe it all, which I guess means movie marathon night. Woo! Because I can't go to sleep, because I'll hopefully shift my sleep schedule and then we're observing the next day. Anyways, we'll tackle that when it comes to it. I'll keep my fingers crossed for some good data tonight. Hello YouTube, coming to you from in front of a big solar telescope. So our observing did end up going okay last night. It wasn't perfect, but what can you do? We still got some data. What data we had is super in focus, so I'm pleased about that. And so far, I do not see a single cloud in the sky. So we should have some good weather tonight if it stays like this, fingers crossed. I will check in with you guys tomorrow, but I'm gonna go continue exploring the mountain and waiting for my hair to dry. But it's really windy and sunny, so it's almost dry. Going down there next. By the way, in case it wasn't obvious, that solar telescope is huge. That thing is so big. Hey, so it's a little bit before 4, so I am walking up the mountain, and we're gonna go start setting up the telescope and hopefully taking some biases and some flats for good calibration, and we can do that all and get it running. So then we can eat dinner while those go, because those don't actually really require much watching. But in the meantime, it looks pretty. Whoosh. Pretty mountain. Hey YouTube, so it's a bit colder tonight, this evening. Really windy as well. The telescope there is the one that I'm observing on, except tonight they're cleaning it up a little bit. Some of the instrumentation got a bit of condensation in it, so we won't actually be observing tonight, which is sad, but we thought we'd come up and watch the sunset. And I'm a bit early, but it still looks really cool. You can kind of see some of the other, you can't. There you go. See them over there? And then, there you go. It's a little bit prettier. Last night, we switched to kind of a random field, because one of the fields it was really windy, we were facing into the wind, telescope was shaking, not great for data. So we switched to another random field, and there were some gorgeous galaxies in it. It looked awesome. Alright, so I was sitting here editing the video and I realized I didn't actually record anything on Thursday. But I swear I have a good excuse. I was up for 32 hours on only 4 hours of sleep. So, whoops. We ended up getting some decent data Thursday night. It was a bit turbulent air, so that wasn't great for our data, but there is data. And then, as I said, we kind of just stayed up, got on a flight, headed back home, and then I watched Dr. Horrible and fell asleep. So, all in all, it was an enjoyable trip. It was fun to use the big telescope. The last night of data taking, the person that helps the telescope, the operator, was an awesome woman named Amy, and turns out she was rereading the Sword of Truth books, so we're friends now. Also, she's a Slytherin and a Doctor Who fan, so what more do you need in a friend? So that made the last night a lot more enjoyable. Actually, having some conversation with her was fun. But so now we just wait for the data to process. Because the instrument is so fancy and nice, the images we get are actually too big for our measly little computers at work to handle. Even though they're not measly little computers, they're pretty decent. But you kind of need a supercomputer to deal with it, so we wait for our data processing to happen, and then we get to work with the kind of slightly reduced and already stacked and slightly processed data, which I'm excited for. Looks like we're still on track for doing another observing run in November. I don't know if that will be remote observing or not, but I do kind of hope that I get to go back to the mountain, because being on the mountain's always fun. And it's so much better than being stuck here at school. Ugh. Coming back to the real world after observing always sucks. I have so many papers to read this week. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about the observing that I did, or I guess astronomy in general, leave them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. Until next time, Al on Z.